Hey guys, Coach Mike here. That is what my clients call me, so you have to get used to it. Hey, by the way, what did you think of that intro? That's not bad for a first time, right? I'm by no means good at graphic arts, and so that took a long time, and I'm not disappointed in the first draft. Like I said, Coach Mike here from After 40 Fitness, after40fitness.ca. The purpose behind the channel is going to be to do some keto, carnivore, some health and wellness, some fitness, some HIIT, some circuit training tailored to the over 40 and particularly the over 50 market where I am now, and I hope many of you are as well. So anywhere from 40 and beyond, 50s and 60s. But the purpose again is to bring some topics not just of a workout nature that's very popular right now, but it's definitely to mix in some topics of points of contention. And I'll give you some examples of that in a couple of minutes. But nonetheless, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell icon and tap on all. And the reason for that is I'm going to put out a couple, maybe 3 videos a week, and there'll be a mix, again, of performance and HIIT-related, circuit-related stuff with topics like keto and carnivore, etc. And I think you'll know when you see the title if it's of interest to you, and if it is, I appreciate it. Watch them, hit the like button, share them, please. And I'll give you some examples of that as I talk on. So the purpose behind the channel, again, is to really to tailor and the content and cater to the over 40, over 50 market. The reason I thought I'd do that is because, A, I love this stuff. I'm passionate about it. I live it every day. But then even more so is because most of the content I see on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram is by 20 and 30-year-olds who will then turn around and say, oh, and let me tell you about how to do this if you're over 40 or over 50. Shut up. That's guesswork. How do you know? You and I, we live this every day, right? We're going through it, especially if you're like me in my early 50s. So we talk about it like experience, not just conjecture. And that's why I thought I'm passionate about this topic. I train guys that are right now, most of them, I think all my clients right now are in their 50s. So long story short, I'm sitting on a swing, by the way, on my deck. So if you see me doing a little swing, that's why. Okay, and let's really focus in on why I think it's relevant that you want to subscribe to my channel. First, I'll give you some background. I'm by no means a doctor. I'm not a clinical nutritionist. I'm not a kinesiology major. My schooling was in computer science. My schooling is entirely IT based. And so starting out for the first 10 years of my career as a frontline network engineer, and then moving on into architecture, enterprise architecture of an IT nature. And now lately, I've been a PM for the last few years, which is a project manager, not the prime minister, a project manager, but in the IT space, right? So doing IT projects. And the reason I bring that up is while my schooling, perhaps like yours, is not of a health nature, what we did learn from that education is how to be critical thinkers, right? How to be contrarian, how to look for support, for scientific background, to use the lens of science when talking about topics of a fitness, health, nutrition, wellness nature. And so like you, I love to do that. So my schooling, though, if I will talk about how I got into being a personal trainer, etc., in the health and wellness industry, goes back to 93. It was in 1993 that I elected to become a personal trainer. World Gym at the time that I was working out at in Ajax, Ontario, was looking for personal trainers. And so I went to George Brown and took their course called the STFA. You have got to be an old timer to know what the STFA is. It stood for the Standardized Test of a Fitness Appraiser. And it was where we were taught how to do modality testing, flexibility and mobility testing, stretch testing, that kind of thing. And then do some fat caliper testing to figure out someone's body fat percentage, and then assign them a bro split, assign them a workout program. We didn't call it HIIT back then. We just called it circuit training. That was a big thing for me, even back in 93. And then at the time, if you recall, 90s was a hot time for Atkins. And so the combination, I would give pointers and admonish and really endorse the Atkins diet regimen. And when someone could put together the two, circuit training or HIIT training of some kind back then with Atkins, oh my God, magic happened. I had some really successful clients in the 90s. Now, the reason I made the move into being a personal trainer was because prior to that, about 88, I got in first into karate, and then a couple of years later into Taekwondo. And I've been in Taekwondo ever since. In fact, here, I'm going to show you a couple of pics. This is my kids and I, really a Taekwondo family. Okay, my boys got black belts. My young two, you can see there before we moved out west, both got green. Oh, aren't they cute? Both got green belts. Really proud of them. And for me, the coaching really picked up when I got my black belt, in particular when I got my second degree. And that's when I began doing a lot of teaching, a lot of training, a lot of coaching, testing. All right, so you can see some shots there, some fun times. And I did that right up until about 2000 when I had an injury. I got kicked in the knee and had a little MCL tear. And then second, like the same month, I'm doing flags. You know what I mean when I say a human flag? Here, I'll show a picture of it. You grab a pole and you do a human flag. You stick yourself out parallel to the ground. Well, at the same time, I just hurt my knee, and so I pop up to do this flag that I like to do. working core, and somehow popped my shoulder. I don't know, tore my shoulder at the same time. And so that really laid me up for quite a while. In fact, so much so that, man, I put on a ton of weight. I went from about 190 lean to almost 260, maybe 255. A bag of Doritos became my best friend. It was my soulmate. 5 nights a week, there I am on the couch, me and the TV and a bag of Doritos. And so, oh, there you go. I'll show that picture. Oh, look at that fat bastard. Hey, isn't that sexy? That's one sexy. That's a heart attack waiting to happen right there. But anyway, long story short, that was inspiration to get off my butt and get back in shape again. However, it didn't last long. That's from 2010. And then sure enough, here, look at this one here. This is my son and I. So let things go again, a little bit more of an injury. And then all of a sudden I'm back to eating the Doritos. And then here, this is my son and I in 2016 in the Netherlands, in Zeeland on the North Shore. Look at my boy. Oh, my son, so impressive. Naturally fit, naturally lean, showing off his abs. So what did I do? That's me flexing beside him, flexing my one pack. Oh my God. In case you're wondering, that's me flexing. That look in my face, that's not me having a stroke. That's me flexing. Anyway, shame. But then, things got better again, got healed up and decided it was time again. And so this is what I look like now, in case you're wondering. So done, up and down like the rest of your hurdles and obstacles. So when it comes to the kind of channel I want to put out, it's going to be a combination of both. It's going to be very much performance and HIIT related. It's also going to be very much topics like keto carnivore. If you're looking for, one of my favorites on YouTube is Coach Greg Doucette. He's an IFBB pro. I'm not an IFBB pro. So, when it comes to size, if you're looking for a big guy like Michael Hearn or Greg Doucette's not me. Now, make no mistake, I'm pretty proud of myself. I work out hard and I'm proud of it. But I'm not that guy. I'm not the IFBB pro who can talk about that. I'll just come up with some very good topics. And so when it comes to, let's talk about HIIT real quick. When it comes to performance, I'll show you some ideas of what my guys do, my clients do, whether it's, again, flipping tires or hitting those tires with a sledgehammer. This is why you want to hit subscribe. You're going to see some neat stuff you don't do. For example, talk about challenges. I'll give you a couple examples of the kind of challenges I put my guys through. Okay, how about a chin-up challenge, a pull-up challenge? Okay, I'm at 51 years old and I'm knocking off 25 chins, 25 pull-ups. Okay, and my guys are chipping away at it. So if you want, we'll do a video. One day I'll put up a video of me knocking off 25 chins, and then you see how well you can do. And what we'll do? We'll keep each other accountable. And you show me a video, start sending me videos of you doing 6, maybe 7, maybe 8. Before you know it, a month from now you're doing 12. A month from later you're doing 16. Before you know it, you're at 21. And then you're going to send me a video of you doing 27. And I'll be like, oh my God, props. Huge props. Going to call that out. Going to show the video. And my God, let's do that. Let's have some fun. Here's another one. Have you ever heard of EMOM? Is that a term that in your HIIT circles you're used to? EMOM stands for, it's EMOM, every minute on the minute. And so this is my favorite burpee challenge. Oh my God, I love burpee challenges. Okay, not to mention I'm going to show you 6 different ways to do burpees. My favorite is one I've named after me because I've never seen anybody else do it, but it's called the no touch or the robo. I call it the robo burpee. And when I say no touch, I mean you could also call it a planche burpee. It's where when you go down to do the push up and you stick your feet straight out. Well, don't let your toes touch. Hold yourself on your hands for a second in a planche. And then pull your knees back in, plant your feet, do the jump. That's one. Okay, so you're going to see me do them all the time. I love doing planche or no touch or robo burpees. They're my favorite. So I'll do a burpee challenge with my guys. Now let me walk you through this real quick, just to get your head thinking about the kind of things you can expect on my channel. This is why you want to hit subscribe. Okay, I tell you, there's going to be good stuff. Let's call this 110 minutes. 100 burpees in 10 minutes. Now the way you do it is 10 every minute on the minute. Now picture that for a second. You set your Tabata, your timer, your watch to beep every minute on the minute. So when the beep starts, to start your first minute, you have to knock off 10 burpees. Okay, so 10 burpees, let's say they take about 3 seconds a piece, that's 30 seconds. The rest of the minute, the next 30 seconds is yours to rest. Okay? And the goal is when it beeps at the minute, to start minute 2, you have to knock off 10 more burpees. All right? And the goal is knock them off as fast as you can so you get as much of a rest period as you can. And typically that's about 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of break. Let me tell you something. After about 4 or 5 sets of this, you're starting the next set of burpees long before you're still winded. You are not recovered. Okay, and you're going to hate me for it. It's awesome. It's the best challenge ever. And you'll start out, I'll tell you what will happen. The first time you do this challenge with me, you're going to do 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8. God bless you. You just set a baseline. Now you know what you need to be. You knocked off like 85 burpees in 10 minutes. Congrats. I mean, that's well done. That's your baseline. And next time you're going to move up to 6 sets of 10 before you drop to 9, right? Now you get to the point where you're with me and you're doing 10 sets of 12. So 12 burpees taking about 40 seconds. And I do my no-touch planche robo burpees, my robo burpees, and I'm knocking off 120 of those in 10 minutes. And here's the challenge. I'm going to throw that out. We're going to do it together. And then somebody's going to write me back and say, haha, Mike, I saw your 10 sets of 12, but I did the first 5 sets of 13 or 14 before I dropped down to 12, before I dropped down to 10. And I knocked off 130 burpees in 10 minutes. That's the kind of shit we're going to do. You know, I love it. I love it. Okay. So those are the kind of challenges you're going to see. Again, flipping tires, swinging sledgehammers, working the battle ropes. Okay, my guys are going to show you the kind of fun we have. It's challenging. You're going to enjoy it. But the other half of the coin is going to be those topics. Those topics that are going to come up in the keto and carnivore space that we'll talk about. We'll talk about how it's applicable to those of us over 40 and over 50 and beyond. Okay, and I'll give you an example. So the other day, one of my guys, who's become one of my best friends, said to me, Mike, I heard this term the other day called sarcopenia. What's sarcopenia? And I have to explain what by the way, if you don't know, sarcopenia is age-related muscle and strength loss. Okay, so muscle and strength loss due to no other reason than aging. Okay, now science shows us that between the age of about 30 and 60, we lose about 30% of our muscle mass if we don't do something about it. Okay, so our job, your job, my job as a coach is to hold you accountable and make sure that either A, you're doing something that's muscle sparing to prevent that muscle loss, or hopefully even better is to add a pound or two of muscle. So key. Just a couple of pounds of muscle. Not only do you stop yourself from losing that 1 or 2% a year, but then you add a little bit. Oh my God. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, one of my favorite sources on YouTube, she's famous for saying that muscle is the organ of longevity. And I bought into that. Okay, so the goal is to add, at least not lose any, but definitely, ideally to add a little bit. Okay, so that's one topic that we're going to cover. A video coming up will be on sarcopenia and how to avoid it in men and women. Another one, here's another example that I'll finish with this one. Another one of my guys, and one of my clients, who is also one of my best friends, says to me the other day, did you see that video on sucralose by some guy named Dr. Barry? Okay, so there's a lot of great sources on the internet. I mentioned Dr. Greg Doucette. Greg's a great guy when it comes to all things working out, lifestyle, diet, and nutrition. Dr. Berg is a big one in the keto space. Hey, Thomas DeLauer is one of my favorite. Thomas DeLauer, like me, doesn't have an education in medicine or in nutrition, but loves to, again, use the lens of science. Okay, so I really like Thomas DeLauer. But this guy, Dr. Barry, he is a board-certified physician. I mean, kid you not, a family physician. Got 25 or 30 years of practicing, and he puts out a video on sucralose. Now, there's two things that tweak me. One is cognitive dissonance. I'll say that for another time. The one, though, that I'm going to refer to now is called confirmation bias. Have you heard that term, confirmation bias? In a nutshell, it's when you are so biased and you're so entrenched in your bias that you go looking for data that supports your bias and disregard the rest. Okay, so this is what this guy did. This guy, Dr. Barry, talk about pissing, talk about triggering me. He finds a study that's got like 1 or 2 components in it that support his hatred of sucralose, but about 10 that show it's inconsequential, immaterial, not unhealthy, doesn't matter, and disregards those 10. Then goes and does this video about sucralose. You're going to want to subscribe and hit the bell icon and hit all just so you can get that video. I promise you, I'm gonna rock it. Okay, I'm going to go line by line through this guy's soliloquy. And this is the problem. This is where I think that you and I have an advantage if you have an interest in this topic. Is my schooling doesn't have to be in education, but because I hate confirmation bias and because I'm a critical thinker and a little contrarian, as asked my wife, a little contrarian, I'm going to read the study. He quotes a study. I'm not just going to take his word for it. I'm going to go read the damn study. And sure enough, as I read this study compared to what he said in his video, I'm like, you're a dick, man. You are an idiot. Shame on you, Dr. Barry, the nerve. Anyway, so I'm going to rip this thing apart, and that's going to be the next video. I maybe the sarcopenia, then a workout video where I show some tire flipping and some battle ropes, and then so it's coming next week. Okay, so what I'm going to recommend is hit subscribe. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, share this with a couple of friends who are in our age group. If you're over 40 and you know anybody who's over 40 and they're talking about health and wellness and being better and living long, you need to share my channel with them. And if you see a couple of videos you like, make sure you share them. On that note, see you in the next one. Ciao for now.